Hey friends, and a pleasant good evening on a snowy, ice-covered night here in State College, Pennsylvania. Listen to the fastest hour of football here every week on Line Drive and the network put by the players to the fans. Greg Johnson, Skip Bravo, Big Dude Stephen Davis will join us there later tonight. Giving a little bit of a recap here from last week's loss here to tough game with Michigan State, Greg, and looking ahead here to some bowl games and talking about some recruiting and what's happening here with the NCAA here this playoff picture, Greg. So welcome aboard, everybody. My name's Skip Robelvis, and we're just thankful you could be here with us. And we're trying to take care of some of these technical things going on here. Julian's at the board here, and he's always doing a great job making it all happen. And
try to save us.
Yeah, there you go. So, Greg, I don't know where to start, man. It was just kind of what we anticipated is a good way to put it.
I would say that you are absolutely correct. I think we had, I don't think we had humongous expectations going in.
No.
Of course, we knew that our defense was going to keep us in the game, give us a shot. But, you can't turn the ball over. You can't fumble. You can't give up special teams touchdowns. It's what we've seen all year. But the beautiful part of that is these young kids, and there are a lot of them, have gotten a lot of experience this year. And they've tasted their own blood. They've gotten kicked in the teeth. So I would say to you that next year they'll come out with a totally different personality offensively. And as we've talked about before, the 15 bowl practices are going to be huge for us. That's going to give us a leg up going into our spring practice. So it'll help.
Right. Well, I went to the they had, of course, the Letterman could be around and be back here. It was a tough weekend for guys to be back, but those of us who could make it, we were up at the lounge on Sunday for lunch, where we welcomed the seniors into the Letterman Club, and that fraternal order we have there of guys looking after guys who used to play here, and it's welcomed everybody who was part of the blue and white. And it was kind of neat to talk to some of the seniors and their experiences and hear some of the compare and contrast between three different coaches. Here's a class of seniors graduating Penn State playing football who've struggled more than probably any group of seniors in the country with transitions, setbacks, and just devastating things happening to their team and coaches. And, these guys came through a lot, and it's been tough for them, and they've worked real hard. But, that their attitude is good. These guys reflect the character of the Penn State era of recruiting, and the guys who just show what Penn State football is all about, that resilience to fight to the end, to the determination to, no matter what happens, to suck it up and press on towards goals. These guys reflect it well. And I don't think they really understood some of the benefits of the Letterman Club, because, they're coming out of school, they're trying to think of, well, do I try the NFL, Canadian football arena, what should I do next? I have this degree here from Penn State. What are my options here before me? And when I talked to some of these guys, I said, these next 10 years, you guys are probably going to be chasing really hard in your life pursuits. I said, but, realize that part of that, through all of this, is guys looking after you and guys who have your back. You have a family here of fellow former players who are networked together pretty well, who are here to help. And that's kind of what we shared with them. And I said, 10 years, 20 years now, we're going on 30 years removed. I said, you'll appreciate this so much more when you get older like we are and can come back and really enjoy the football family through these leading into our golden years of our lives. So that's kind of the message I was able to share with those guys. And I think they're getting it. But, what it's like when you're late, you're in your early 20s, and here's the whole world before you. You're chasing after things like that. The benefits of the Letterman Club just don't seem to want to settle real fast. When football's still in your mind, you have a bowl game ahead, leaving college and getting on with your life. But I think the stick-to-itiveness and the opportunities, I think these guys are realizing more so than I know we did when we were that age. So I think they're paying a lot of attention to that, and I wish them nothing but the best in their future endeavors here, and we're all here to help them, encourage them in any way we can throughout their life pursuits now that the football aspects of their lives are fading out.
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer that at that age you listen with one ear because 90% of everything, and as you get a little older, you start asking to borrow ears so that you can hear a little better because you realize you didn't know much then and you don't know a whole lot now.
Right, and then he asked for a few more ears to have people be eyes and ears for you because the hearing's starting to fade and the eyes can't see as well.
Absolutely. I tell you
from experience.
That is so true. Experience is a wonderful thing, man. I wish we could have the experience we had in our 30s and 40s and take that back to being 18, 20, 22 when you've got a lot more energy to do things.
Oh, tell me about it, brother. I'm telling you, it's the knowledge that you possess as time goes on and the wisdom that you get from those experiences is truly priceless. And who wouldn't give whatever they could to be able to take what they know now and go back 20, 30 years? Wow. I mean, how things could possibly be different. But, I don't like to speculate on that too much myself personally because, I realize that, there's a linear history here that we all have. It's all part of a great purpose and plan for each of us. And those experiences and things we go through are ultimately to serve for a good purpose if we, trust the right person for that. So, that's my perspective on it. And, I live and you learn and you go and you grow.
And that is so very true, man. Hey, man, my grandfather used to say it all the time, son, you're going to figure something out. Just keep breathing.
I like that.
As long as you're breathing, there's a good chance you're going to figure it out.
How true that is. How true that is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that, despite the up and downness of the season, considering that no one even saw the defense even playing as well as they did throughout the season before the season even began, that definitely brought a different type of togetherness for the whole team as a whole. And, despite the outcomes of the games, you can obviously see that the players overall were definitely given better efforts than I think if the defense, either side of the ball wouldn't have held it down for the majority of the season, that I think there would have been maybe less of an effort because of the record. But, once it was more recognized that getting to a bowl game is possible, once the sanctions were lifted throughout the year, I definitely believe that for the kids that did play, it definitely, was a telling thing for them. And also for the seniors who stuck with, Penn State throughout those other years, definitely was something like a gift for them, going, to end the season out, for their career.
Well, fellas, something that we can be very proud of is that at no point in time this season did we see any give up in anybody. Those kids, especially on the offensive side of the ball, they kept coming. They kept trying. They kept, making effort. They were just shorthanded. And the defense didn't give up because I'm sure they were frustrated, and some defenses would give up on their offense, but they didn't do that at all. So, we've got the right character kids in there. We just need a little time to grow, and that'll happen.
Absolutely, Greg. Absolutely. When I saw the game, the kickoff right from the start this past weekend, I thought, oh man, this could be coming ugly really fast from the start. And but again, Penn State, these guys just showed their resilience to just keep fighting and fighting, no matter how difficult it was, to try to put points on the board and to try to shut them down. And again, how often do you get a kickoff return all the way for a touchdown? It reminds me, Julian, they have that contest here where if somebody takes an opening kickoff for a touchdown, did they give that money away? How much was that? It was like $10,000.
Right, that was about that.
Oh, man.
I forgot about that.
Oh, well, I should have signed up for that.
How about it?
No, I don't want to say that because it was against us, but that's right. I remember the contest. Either team returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Right.
I wonder who won that.
Somebody who cheesing from ear to ear.
Wow. Yeah, it just popped in my mind here. The station does that,
They do.
I'll tell you, folks, if you're not listening. What's that?
I almost think that for Thanksgiving now.
I don't know if they offer that for the bowl game or not, but folks, if you don't listen to Magnum Broadcast and all their stations, these are some of the things you miss out on because they have contests and things like this that most people never think of. That you have opportunities to win money like that. I mean, who would have ever thought $10,000. And they've done that several times over the past few years.
We have very consistent.
Wow.
Consistent.
I mean, all right, folks, you know you got to do. You got to listen to Quick Rock. You got to listen here to WBLF, Y106. Everybody, it's great stations out there too that only give away things like this. That's just some of the tip of the iceberg too. They give so much more out there to the community. So
yes, they do, and it's definitely beneficial when you can not only hear good stuff coming across radio, but also receive good things. So not to promote, but definitely I would encourage to listen to the stations.
Well, you know what? Next year, maybe I definitely got to work on it. Greg, we got to work on this thing here for the home games and find a way to give away, bringing some folks up to the Letterman Club. Run a little contest thing like that.
Absolutely, that'd be awesome.
Yep, I did that for the at the Grange Fair for the first game. So we had a drawing and raised money for the Grange Fair that way. So yeah, we'll work on that. That's good ideas, folks. We're thinking live on air here at Lions Live.
How about it?
We're not trying to talk too much about the past game here, but we will cover it here, and we'll also give a little recap of the season, and possibly we're looking at here not only Penn State in the bowl picture, but overall what's going on in the NCAA and this new playoff system that they have. And some other things over this past game, Greg, that maybe were highlights that caught your eye.
I think for me, first thing that caught my eye was the Lucas and Belton wearing their teammates' jersey numbers to honor them, being that they were injured and couldn't play. I thought that was awesome. I think what caught my eye too was we just didn't make any progress on offense. We tried hard, we played hard, we just didn't make any progress. And it was a ball game for a little bit. It truly was a ball game for a little bit. And then sheer numbers took over. Michigan State goes 2 deep quality at every position. We go 1 deep quality at every position. So you can just see that war of attrition started to kick in. But we've got our players play ball. Zettel, Hull. They do what they all do. Man, they play serious football. But just offensively, and we have got to get to a place next year with our offensive line where we're able to go downfield. We're not able to go downfield. We can't run, posts. We can't run go routes. We're just limited, and we just can't do much, man. The other thing that is noticeable is that at some point in time during low practice or spring ball, winter workouts, a kid has got to figure out how to block somebody.
Agreed.
I think as a running back, as a runner, I think he's probably going to end up being one of those big timers that we've had come through here. Mm-hmm. But man, at some point in time, you got to take pride in picking up a blitz and helping your quarterback out.
I agree, especially if he believes he might make it to the next level, or even wants to contemplate that. You got to be able to pass block, or just block in general. With reverse plays, like you were saying, if you want to do different formations, you got to be able to play in the different packages, or that limits your time even playing on the field.
Oh, absolutely, and he's just terribly deficient. It's not even close. And you know what? I remember, several coaches, of course, tell you that blocking is 10% technique and 90% wanting it.
Correct.
And he's just got to want it bad enough, because, as you said, Julian, not only his time, so we spent a year and a half all last year and half of this season trying to figure out why he didn't get many snaps at all, maybe 1, 2, 3 snaps a game. And when he did, he made big time things happen. So we learned halfway through the season that the reason he's not getting those 10, 20 snaps is because he's liable to get your quarterback knocked into Juventus.
Correct. We learned that the hard way watching him. But if you want to be a caliber running back, even if not one of the stars and running for a Heisman or anything, you got to be able to block. Or most coaches really are not into that. If you can't block, your time playing is definitely going to be limited for sure.
Yep. Yeah, but let's not get it twisted though, fellas. He's our best running back, and he is going to be a stud as a runner.
For agreed there. I definitely agreed there. Like I was saying with them finally implementing him in the game, you can love his running style. I definitely like how he runs downhill, doesn't shy away from hits, and at the same time he's like not to hype him up too much, but like if you remember the bust with the Steelers back in the day, kind of like a boulder a little bit with the way he moves. Like so maybe if he stays focused on his craft, we'll see something. Maybe what we might have could have saw with Silas Red even. So hopefully, that those are things we'll be able to see with him.
I'm sorry, who did you say?
Silas Red, if you remember him, he was one of the players that left.
Yeah, he transferred to USC.
To go to USC.
Yep.
But we had good things.
I'm sorry, who was that?
Greg, I got it the first time around. I know Julian did. I knew exactly where you're going to that one. So
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. No, I am getting a little older, and not only are my eyes going, but my hearing is bad too.
Yeah, just with certain names and people, right?
No, I understand. You got to be loyal. You saw what happened to him. He became third string, and then you didn't see him anymore.
He's gone.
So USC didn't show him love anyway.
I'm sorry. I'm still trying to figure out who we're speaking of.
Yeah, right. I got you. Hey, big welcome. Is that you out there, Stefan?
I'm here.
Glad you could join us, buddy. We're just giving a little talk about last week's game here with Michigan State. A rough loss, but it's nothing that we didn't expect. And Greg was just chiming in here some thoughts and comments of highlights that he noticed. Do you have any on your mind?
Well, I mean, I think that we came out the way we wanted to come out pretty much. I mean, I think that we saw what you could do. I mean, I think we saw what we could do even against a top-ranked defense. And I thought really first half, other than not doing anything in the red zone 4 different times, I thought we played well, we blocked well. I mean, they got Hackenberg their share of times, but I didn't get a chance to see much of the second half. But, when you started to see what was going on in the first half, I thought that it was the right game plan. Just inside the 20, we just could not get it done.
Right. It's been difficult this year. And I'm going to ask you both, you guys, to see what your thoughts are. I'll put it what I noticed out there myself, and I hear people talking about. Hackenberg's he's on his second style of offense he had to learn this year. And I think some quarterbacks are physically built for different types of offenses. And I think that, Hackenberg's kind of built to be the type of guy to play in a pro type of offense where you may be playing at Denver, or you may be playing with a team like the Colts. He's a drop back type of passer. He's not the type of guy to run and scramble. And I think the type of offense that Coach Franklin has now is more of a geared towards a different style of quarterback. And I think that's been tough on him. I think his options are limited. And I think the plays are scripted a little bit tighter, where his options to audible are a little bit less. And I think that's been difficult for him this year.
Well, what I think that you can rest assured of is, as long as Franklin's here, Hackenberg will be the last pro-style drop-back quarterback that we'll have.
Oh, I have no doubt. Unless Coach Franklin decides to change his offensive scheme around, I think this is the last type of quarterback we'll see like him.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. He, and he's not allowed to audible up the line, which, for a kid as smart as he is and as talented as he is, I think that's not allowing him the freedoms to be successful so that your team could be successful. Because he did that quite well last year.
As a freshman, he had an 18-year-old kid out there, and he was doing great. But again, a different system.
Yeah. So I just think that I think what will happen is next year they'll be more flexible. I think what happened this year, and I said it, I don't know if it was last week or week before last. They brought all the coaches from the previous school. They brought the same system, so they didn't necessarily know our players, nor did they have any time to adjust the system to fit those players. So they've been coaching their same system this year with the current players they have. I think now that they've had those guys for a year, and then they're going to go through another ball practice, winter workout, and spring ball and summer camp, they will. I would highly believe that they're going to script their offense based on the talent that they have next year.
No doubt. Stefan, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I agree with what Greg is talking about for the most part. But, I mean, I guess I look at it from a different perspective. To me, he's gaining a skill set he didn't have. That's why I want to look at Christian Hackenberg and quarterbacks holistically. I think the thing we have to remember in the NFL is, you're going to have to haul some behind.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? And so He had to do that this year, and he got used to it this year. And things weren't so comfortable, and I think that's what's going to make him so much better. And again, he had to drop back people and the receivers and all, but we all realized with everything that happened all at once, I think, it takes a year to get a system down, and I think Hackenberg has developed another skill set. I think he's going to be better next year. I think, like I said, now I haven't heard anything else about any bowls or anything yet, but I'm sure we're going. But these other couple of weeks, these 3 extra weeks of practice, I'm excited to find out just how much better some of these other people can get done, how much better some of the folks that are coming back in the spring. And Hackenberg is going to have to make some plays because in the first, he is going to be, see what happens with a lot of drop-style quarterbacks in college, whether the offense is for them or not. They don't have the pressure. They can't get the ball off. I mean, as good as Blake Bortles did this year, Blake Bortles struggled a little bit this year because he got to sit back there and have a cup of tea and have a sandwich and all those other.
Yeah, don't that NFL, man.
Now, Stephen, I've got to slightly disagree with you on a couple things.
That's okay. That's all right. You go ahead.
Blake Bortles struggled because there's only 3 players on that entire team. So that is a major talent issue. That's my whole point. I think we're saying the same thing. There's 3 people in there. We have 46 scholarship players, and we only had 2 experienced linemen playing all year. This is what I'm saying. And I'm not just saying it from the style of offense that he got sacked almost 40 times this year. I mean, that's a lot of sacks. Oh, he got sacked over 40 times, 42 times to be exact.
Wow.
But,
okay. So that's what I'm saying. So
for me,
what's the difference? I don't quite understand.
For me, it's about protecting your assets. And if you have a quarterback that's not a good runner, and he is not a good runner, if you have a quarterback that's a drop back passer, you really want to protect him by not making him do what he doesn't do very well. We've seen him get out of the pocket and run on, spread options, things like that. Fellas, he's almost died a couple times.
Oh, yeah, I know. He'll take his head off.
Yeah. Don't make him do what he can't do because he can't protect him. It's kind of like RG3 and sliding.
Well, that's a little far-fetched.
Well, actually, you know what? Like Roethlisberger, when he first came in the NFL, he thought he could put his head down. He starts getting concussions.
Well, you see, but I guess what I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying, Greg. It's not so much that these things. And I think you got to give Coach Franklin a little bit of time to make some adjustments and to think about where he has to look at it. A lot of times you're unrealistic just because you put the best players on the field. The question is, and it's true, what is the adjustment that are the coaches going to make, and how is he going to protect his assets? And by the same token, him getting knocked upside his head is going to make him more NFL ready. Him sitting back there and not getting pressured and all those other things. He had a good line last year and he made some other things up. But again, you don't find out. You don't find out about anybody until you see what material they have. I mean, when you start to take a look at some of Penn State's best players that did well in the pros, you look at Bruce Clark, you look at Matt Millen. They're tremendous players. They're probably never a better tandem of defensive tackles in the history of Penn State football. And some of those teams they played on were extremely mediocre. Extremely. The talent, extremely mediocre. Oh, you had some good players in different spots. But what I'm talking about is they had to learn to play through those different things without having a whole lot of help. And they didn't have the PC linebackers every year and all those other things. So what I'm saying is we start talking about Hackenberg and what he's got to do. I still think we can change the offense all we want. The young man has got to continue to grow up and understand what it is to be the leader of the team. I mean, we can put any offense out there. I think that's the bottom line and what he's coming into next year. Is he going to have a chance to be reflective? Or are they going to say, you know what? Or him and his dad going to say, hey, this just isn't the team. It's time for me to go ahead and do what we got. That's what I'm saying. And we have another Cyrus Red situation. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Cyrus Red, the question is did he leave? He said he left because he thought it'd be better for him to make the pros at USC, not even looking at what we had. But we never saw him play through anything. And I think Cyrus Red I don't know if he's still with the Redskins. I know he was with the Redskins this year, so he did something right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he would have been in a better situation if he played through the situation.
Yeah, that says a lot, Steph.
Who you thinking of, Steph? I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. Hey, I'll tell you what. On that note,
we're going to credit show. You know what? We're going to give out some awards on this last show. I think, G. We're going to give out some awards. Okay.
We'll come back and do that right after this break. You're listening to Lions Live on the only network built by the players for you, the fans, on the Forever Lions Network. We're right back.
That's Joker.
Profile America, Tuesday, December 7th.
Did I lose you guys? Okay.
Everybody's back. Yo, G, man, you throwing people higher than that, dog. Okay. I'm gonna keep a little bit.
No, bro, that was a straight knuckleball.
Yeah. Well, you threw me higher inside, man. It almost knocked my helmet off. Now, okay.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey,
well,
Jeff,
you know, people from Kansas like to see fights. We know that.
Hey, Jeff. I'm feeling a little frisky.
Oh, yeah, you are. I'm gonna be quiet. You are.
I'm feeling a little frisky.
I'll leave that alone.
I'm feeling a little frisky there, man.
No, you know the funny part about it is I'm frustrated with Hackenberg, but I still don't think it's his fault. You know what I mean? I'm frustrated with it. Well, exactly.
But it's not really, not really complaining about it in the news to us. So, those are the things I'm good about it because frankly, it seemed like he had it together. Maybe like Jason Barrett did this year, where, maybe carrying it over to a sophomore year. So, I'm definitely surprised that they would finally seem like with Hackenberg and Leaford has a seriousness in the pocket.
Yeah, well, he's
not being coached well.
Okay, so we went a little late. All right, guys, we can talk a little longer tonight if we so good. You guys just kind of give me a minute. You want to go? 12 seconds. Okay.
All right, 8 seconds. What is that?
Okay, we're back here live on Lions Live on the only network built by the players to the fans. Big dude Stephen Davis, Greg Johnson, Joey. My name's Skip Gravelbis. Bringing the best of Penn State past, present on the only network built by the players to the fans. We are live here in State College tonight. We're not a podcast. This show is not pre-recorded, so no ad-libbing, no edits. You get it all live here, folks. And these breaks come and go fast. And the fastest hour of football here every week. And it's been a lot of fun. The seasons come and go so fast. It's incredible. Here we were talking preseason. Season's now over, looking for a bowl game.
How about it?
Man, it goes fast.
At least you can say at the end of the day, we might have been upset about the Illinois loss. We knew the Michigan State 9 times out of 10 that loss was going to happen. So to be 6-6 and maybe look at the bright side, that puts us against an opponent in a bowl game, watching how the offense played throughout the year, that, will be more of an opponent that we actually have, that's equally with us. So therefore, it's not a blowout and not an embarrassment, and maybe a game that we actually can win and kind of go up on a high rise to end the season to go into next year.
Absolutely. Well, we were sharing some laughs here through the break, and Greg's throwing some knuckleballs to Stefan. And who's that guy you're talking about now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And just to highlight the defense real quick, Mike Hall was named the Big Ten Linebacker of the Year, so that definitely speaks volumes to how
Yes, he was.
good the defense
And
was.
Zettel, who actually, like I said, I definitely disagreed with a few people. I thought Zettel played outstanding ball, and he's all Big Ten. So, I mean, those are two big selections. He was not a preseason pick
At all.
He wasn't even on the radar.
Not even.
No. I think it's a disappointing year. And they started playing at the end. Our defensive ends, I thought for sure, were shoe-ins for all Big Ten. And I don't know what happened there, but I mean, hey, listen, they got some things done, and they played strong at the end, especially Alanian. Alanian was starting to solidify the edge. I started to see near the end of, and I think people saw that. There's a number of things led the players.
Early in the season, it was obvious that Olinian had a knee injury.
Right.
And I guess as the year went on, that thing healed and he became more comfortable playing on it. But initially, when the season started, it was braced and bandaged up like a thoroughbred that needed some work.
Right.
You got
Oh, you're right,
great
man.
words today.
You're right.
You're on top of it, Greg.
You're right, man.
How about a thoroughbred that threw a shoe? How about that?
Oh, there you go. That just kicked right off, right?
Anyway, looking at the whole defense, I also thought that also when Kaiser got hurt, we found out about Marcus Allen, who I think is going to be a fine player. Now, Greg, you said that everybody but one player on defense is coming back, or did I not hear that correctly?
We're losing two. We're losing Olinian and Hall, and I'm sorry, Amos.
Oh, yeah.
Amos is not coming back.
He was pretty good.
He's a senior. If you look at the number of backups that have been getting snaps, we should be okay on that side of the ball with our defensive end losing Olinian. Hall, we're never going to replace. And Amos, with all the experience that these DBs, freshmen and young DBs have gotten this year, I don't think we're going to be hurting too bad there. So if you really look at it overall, we're losing two players as opposed to three, because two of the players would, in my opinion, would be considered half a loss. And again,
Right.
you look at the number of backups that have gotten big time quality snaps. The loss of Hall is not only going to hurt us on the field, it's going to hurt us in the locker room and the weight room. That's going to hurt us. But we've got a lot of good stuff coming back on the defensive side of the ball, and obviously Shoop has displayed that he can scheme to make up for any deficiencies that he had. So our defense is going to be top 10 again, I'm sure. It's just a matter of finding that good combination of offensive linemen that can help give us some time and open some holes.
No, and I think that while we struggled up front, I mean, like you said, that experience that they had, you can't buy that. I mean, and like I said, and again, I didn't get the second half much of it because I had some things to do, and I got it mostly on the radio. But just being able to be game ready next year, and being able to get through a spring where you can look at some things and really have some things to take from it. Because I think kind of what Skip you were saying was maybe you did have a point about us winning and being fortunate enough to win. But but I think we were all thinking maybe 8-4. I think most of us in the beginning. I thought 8-4 would have been a pretty good record, and even 6-6. The good part about it is that I never thought I would say at the end there should be games that we should have won. That I could pick 3. Michigan, there's no way in the world that we should have ever lost to Michigan.
Right.
No way.
Or Maryland.
Illinois, no way. We should have ever lost to those two teams.
Fellas, we should have 9 wins right now.
Right.
I agree.
It could have gone that way. It just could have gone that way. You know, there's been some of those games.
At the same time, you could have said we should have lost to maybe Rutgers because the defense is the only reason we won that game for sure. You know, so it's kind of
the only loss that I will chalk up as a bona fide butt whooping is Northwestern. Outside of that, between young kids making mistakes, some bad play calling, and a whole lot of assistance from referees, we easily could have only lost 1 game.
It could have played out that way. It could have played out that way.
That's true too. Definitely true. I mean, Northwestern just was really ready that day. Nobody saw that.
That was their game. We talked about it. We talked about it.
Yes,
we said, this is their bowl game, man.
Right.
I mean, this is it. This is the recruiting event of the year. I mean, this is everything to them.
I mean, that defense was swarming on Hackenberg. Right. That was one of the days you couldn't be mad at Hackenberg. You're like, okay, you don't even have time to breathe. They're coming from left and right, hitting pockets. A right guard can't even, switch over to the left. The
guys
right.
are running into one another.
Oh man, it was just a stampede day.
It was just bad.
I gotta give it.
Oh yeah. And you know what? But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's almost like I almost look at this season almost as a practice pass. I mean, you almost have to. I mean, when you took a look at it, and when I saw that small number of seniors out there on senior, the future though, with all due respect to the tough part we had this year, is very, very bright. I still think, and I still think that we probably get some people back who were hurt, and there are some other people that we just need to keep on defense next year. Keep more defense. Start with some young studs, and hopefully we get some young studs in this recruitment part that we're getting, and hopefully we get ready for next year. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Big Ten now, especially now that it is official, from what I understand, that Brady Hoke has been fired from Michigan.
Correct.
So there'll be some changes, and hopefully we'll win some of those players from Michigan.
Right, yeah, because that's going to make a big difference in the recruiting. What's going on just with the players who are possibly considering Penn State and Michigan.
Well, fellas, we just got a commitment that switched from Michigan, and he's a top 100 kid. We just got him Saturday.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Please tell me he's an offensive lineman, please.
No, I'm sorry, I can't fib and tell you that story, because that would not be true.
Oh, wow.
He is another defensive back.
Okay.
I don't know how many we need, but he's another DB.
We don't need one more of those dudes.
Well, we need to find a kicker. I know that, and I'm telling you, I have not heard of anybody. Nobody's been setting the world on fire in high school. I mean, I catch a few glimpses here and there on the news and stuff, but the transition to kicking from the tee to the ground is difficult for some guys. And, we know what it's like, Stefan, when we were there, when you get guys coming in who get scholarships and, they never see the field. So, you've heard it in squad meetings before.
Kicker is important.
Well,
I mean, what a difference a year makes with even Figgin. For whatever reason with O'Brien, he had a shaky moments, and then sometimes he would come in the clutch. And this year he was very consistent. It wasn't even the same kicker from the previous years.
And Skip, did I see correctly, or did I not hear correctly that he broke Matt Barr's record for total points scored?
I'm not sure. I think he may be. I know he's got to be really close if he didn't break it.
Well, I think he only needed the one field goal. I know the first one. Hey man, what happened on that first Charlie Brown field goal, man? Was it really the wind, or he just didn't hit it? That was a Charlie Brown one, man.
Yeah. Well, it's his technique kind of lends itself to hook a lot, and he's been trying to keep his hips going through the uprights a lot better this year than he was in years past. So he's not hooking as much after he kicks the ball. So I know he'd been fortunate in making them, and it's we I don't know if you watch any of the other games that are going on out there. You saw what Notre Dame's been struggling with a holder, and how it's been hurting. Yeah. It's all everybody's got to play their role. I mean, I think that guy out there was putting it down at the wrong spot and holding the wrong hand. I mean, it was all bad for them.
Wow.
But that happens. Looking at the overall conference, we talked about how the conference would go this year. And I'll tell you what, I never thought Ohio State would wind up in front of Michigan State, leading it. Because I picked Michigan State to win it all this year.
Right.
That was a huge upset.
Well, I mean, I think that Michigan State, again, the defense does win championships, but I think people, including myself, I underestimated depth that Ohio State had on offense. I mean, now that JT Barrett's going down, and you have this other kid in there, and people keep saying, "Oh, the season's over, and they should be in the Final Four," which is a whole other discussion. I don't know how much time we have for that, but my goodness, I mean, it looks like Ohio State doesn't miss a beat with whoever's their quarterback. So whoever their quarterback coach is must be doing a good job of equally preparing each quarterback.
Well, I think they're solid out there as a program because I actually saw his ankle break. I was flipping back and catching games. And that was ugly. I thought, man, that's his knee's gone, and sure enough, it was his ankle. And I thought, man, that's tragic. And I'll tell you, that kid is tough.
Yes, he is.
Because he that's some serious pain, and he just took it like a man. And I think he'll be back as solid. But when the other guy came in, man, he played good football.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he was like he's ready to go.
And he's a bigger body.
Yeah.
He's 6'5",
Yeah.
2. I think it said 240. And he was running the
He's
ball.
solid.
Really
He's
mobile.
solid.
And
Yeah.
They said the only thing that he lacks is accuracy. So they definitely want to.
That'll come. Give him some practice time now between if they get to the bowl game. But it'll be interesting to see what happens here this coming week here with Wisconsin with them. So I think
evidently you guys have forgotten that Ohio State goes 9 deep in each position in talent.
This is true.
they got a great coach out there too, right?
The quarterback there's a difference. I mean, I get what you're saying. The quarterback, who can lead the team and who's got this. It seems like they all have good leadership qualities. And then, oh my goodness, they get Braxton Miller back. So what happens with that? I mean, does Barrett transfer? I mean, who knows?
But we know that Ohio State's got a great coach out there too, with Larry Johnson. So we got to give credit, and I think that's helped Ohio State tremendously this year by picking up Larry.
Absolutely,
That's true. Definitely true.
I think that's really made a huge difference to that team, and I think it's going to make a difference in recruiting too.
absolutely.
Very true. Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. That should be a big one against Wisconsin. Like you said, if the third-string quarterback pulls it out against them, I mean, would you argue maybe Ohio State jumping up to the top 4? Because as we have it now, it's Alabama, Oregon, TCU, and then Florida State even fell to 4.
I say Ohio State loses this game.
Okay.
Comes up short.
You think they?
Okay.
I say Ohio State should, and they probably are going to be a chance where they should win because Michigan State. To tell you the truth, at this point of the season, I mean they beat us handily, but I was not that impressed at all.
I agree. I definitely agree. It actually was a close game for a while. Actually, if our offense
For a good while.
Yeah, if our offense could have, pulled up, because the thing about Penn State throughout the whole season, we get in the red zone, we just don't capitalize. It becomes a field goal, which you can't win games a lot of times with just banking on field goals. So if we were to just get into the end zone, maybe twice more, that game, who's to say we might have won that game even?
Right, that's right.
Well, there's still a lot of college football going on. I mean, our season's over, but here we're on week 16. You got UCF, East Carolina, and here's of course we got the some oddball games out there. We got Northern Illinois, Bowling Green, and Iowa State, TCU, and and then of course the Arizona Oregon game. I mean, that's going to be an interesting game again to see how they play one another again.
And I think Oregon, to be honest with you, while they do have a loss, I really believe they play the most consistent football down the stretch.
Correct.
More so than a lot of those other teams.
Correct.
Now the question is can they go with my pick? Like I said, I picked Alabama from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not going to be easy. I just think Alabama's going to find a way to get a win this year. I just see it.
You think they're going to do it? Wow.
They looked impressive against Auburn.
Well, they did, but
I called it. I mean, I'm not going to win out and say, hey, I'm going to change now. And I don't think Alabama has the best stuff and the best quarterback. I mean, to me, they're making the best plays, and I think that's what gives them a good chance.
Right. Well, what about Florida State, man? I mean, they're coming and they're got a lot.
Down them. They're still.
Well, I agree. I'll let somebody else talk.
Well, we have time. Go ahead. We lost some time last weekend, and nothing pressing with Julian here tonight, so we can go a little while later if we have to here tonight.
Yeah, I just think that Florida State, of course they're in the ACC, so no one's going to give them the credit of being in the SEC and that being a battle every week versus teams you might play, like even Arkansas, who might not have the best record all the time, but that's a hard-hitting team. Florida State plays like Louisville and teams like that. So people are not giving them a lot of credit, but at the same time, Jameis Winston, his skill is not being denied. You can see that he's the main reason why Florida State has been winning these games, despite him being held out one game, and then they had the backup play, and that game was a close one against Clemson, and they pulled it out. So, but Jameis Winston is definitely the helm of Florida State. So if it's up to him and them playing maybe at Alabama and the playoff. Who's to say? To be honest, I think it's possible
It'd be a great game.
Florida State might pull it out.
It'd be a great game. I mean, they were down 3 touchdowns. I saw this guy with 3 touchdowns down come back and win a game. I mean, they just have that. I think they have depth. They have speed. Their defense is good, and then they got a great quarterback.
And they are the defending champions, so everyone is going to give them their best shot for every game.
Every
even
game.
Though they're just in the ACC. So I wish people would kind of look at that a little bit,
good point.
Because that's what it is. Everybody they play, nobody's going to just not give them the A game.
Good point.
No, and I just what I'm saying is, I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to have every chance to win. Now, that being said, I still don't think they're the same team as last year. They're a different team, and they have their own journey. This is what I got to give Jameis Winston. I mean, the kid goes out there and he does know how to win. The issue is going to be in terms of urgency, of course, is he going to do it now because this is last year at Florida State? Because it sounds like the way things are going, he can't come back anyway.
Right.
He's really going to want to win.
Yeah.
But you don't have the Benjamin kid that plays for Carolina, and they have weapons, but it's not the same thing. And then with Alabama, I just think that the difference is when they get rolling, and you're talking about a wideout like Amari Cooper, I just think that he is the most unstoppable player at this point. Obviously, he's not going to be a Heisman Trophy selection, but he's the most unstoppable player in college football, I say, at this point.
He's the best player in the country.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
Absolutely.
But let's keep this in mind, fellas. Let's keep this in mind. Jameis Winston has been playing via a whole lot of white noise ever since he came into college. And just like Cam Newton's last year, he excelled all year long under all the controversy, under all the drama. And Jameis Winston has had drama ever since he walked into Florida State's campus.
Correct.
And that kid, every Saturday, comes out and wins ball games.
It doesn't matter what he's eating during a week either, man. He can have crab legs and it's still good.
Wow.
Wow.
Yelling so bad, panties on that table. I tell you, he's definitely something to watch. Though. He's definitely TV.
Oh man, he's ready for his own show, man.
Oh, yeah.
Strap a camera to him, man, and watch out. Just get ready to hit the mute button,
In his own way, trying to be like the Johnny Manziel of college football this year.
Oh, hey, I don't mean to digress too much. My buddy mentioned this one because he, I personally don't like Johnny Manziel at all, man. He and his money fingers, My buddy said, if he played defense and he got a chance to sack him, he'd like to have a hit on him where he buried him when he stood up and he rubbed his fingers like money and he did like a lighter and flicked a match and goes up in front of his face with his hands, That'd be a great way because every time he does something, he's going money. And just to see somebody bury him in the ground and get up and do the money thing and then flick like they're flicking a bic and they go woof and make a big poof of it, I'd love to see it.
Okay, somebody says we're tired.
I'm gonna have to go deep on Johnny Manziel, but I believe if he had a better attitude overall, people wouldn't mind him and his money sign because Cam Newton, he's been doing his Superman sign even since junior college before even Auburn. And then now in the NFL. So no one really complains too much. I mean, only when, the Panthers are down by a lot of points and then you score a touchdown and you're still doing that. That's a little dramatic. But besides that, I've never really heard people complain about it.
The problem with both of them is, okay, we know you're getting paid a lot of money to play college football. You don't have to rub it in our noses.
Yeah, I think that's really, to me, is you're looking for insult when you do something like that, man. I mean, everybody knows there's money in this game. And when you start acting the fool like that and just rubbing it in people's faces, I'll tell you, man, that makes for a lot of just face the facts, man. You get a lot of people getting a lot of hate coming at you when you do that stuff.
Absolutely.
That's true. But I'll tell you what, though, if Johnny Manziel, now that he's taking over for Cleveland now and they're giving him a chance, if he, you know, does what Hoyer hasn't been doing, being consistent with the last stretch of the 4 games, just throwing picks more than touchdowns, I mean, people might be singing a different tune even to him. I mean, if you are arrogant, but you show it on the field of being something close to great or anything that's shown, especially during this time period where the Browns have to, this is playoff time. I mean, he might start to be looked at in a different light.
But how do you root for a guy like? I mean, he's hurting himself. But how do you root for somebody like that, man?
Julian.
Yep.
What's do you know, Julian, what Hoyer's record is as a starter at Cleveland?
I'm trying to remember right now. I don't want to not be accurate, but I mean, overall, he's don't get me wrong. He's took Cleveland to where they are.
I would say 10-5 as a starter allows you to keep your position.
But if you, for a stretch of 4 games with 4 weeks in a row, if you only throw what is it like 1 touchdown to 7 picks, I mean, and it's this playoff, like they have to win at least the next 2 games to even get into the playoffs. I think that they should at least try out Johnny Manziel, considering they put him in a game. He made a scoring drive. Of course, he ran into the end zone, kind of went to the end zone a little carelessly. You don't really want your quarterback to go head first into the end zone, take a hit like that. But, you know, I think it's worth a shot. If he stinks it up, take him back.
Johnny Manziel is a novelty / ticket seller.
I like that. That's great.
Translated, everybody. Trust me, people.
Yeah.
He's not going to win you a championship, brother.
No.
He is a novelty / ticket seller.
Yeah, that's right.
To sell tickets.
I will say we'll see. The thing I see in Johnny Manziel is the same thing I used to see in Tim Tebow, which is that winning spirit. Now, true indeed, Tim Tebow couldn't get the ball out fast enough as an NFL quarterback, so you know that definitely took him out the league. And you see, he's just an analyst in the SEC now.
Hey, Julian, I know that Tim Tebow and his bodyguards aren't going to be trying to fight their way out of the club at 2:00 in the morning, on Friday night before game.
Yeah, he ain't flying out of Vegas for that. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying off the field. Johnny Manziel is definitely a handful off the field. But his performance on the field, when you've seen his play at Texas A&M, man, I mean, he came with some historic comebacks as a quarterback, despite even his last year there, defense lacking, numbers wise than the previous year, where they were just playing so awesome when they took down Alabama, and he got a name for himself.
Julian, he's a bum.
Yeah. I'd love to see the
Julian, what's happening now is the 3 of us are showing the difference in our age and you. Because your generation doesn't care about character, quality. We don't care what you do off the field. We don't care that you toss up the money side. Just win ball games for us, baby. And that us old school dudes want you to win ball games, where we want you to walk in and talk to you correctly.
You're going to be a man's man. That's right.
I understand, but I look at the greats, just in sports in general. Like even if Michael Jordan, he was a very arrogant person. It's just that in the fact of his game was so awesome that you just didn't look at anything but that.
But here's
no comparison to Michael Jordan.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing him at all. But I'm just saying, if you can handle it both ways, that's pretty awesome.
No. Jordan built, the difference is Jordan built a team around him. It was never, ever the total best team. He showed people in team sports how to make sure all the components work together, and whoever was playing had a specific role. And yeah, he did have a very huge role in that. The problem with Johnny Manziel is at least Jordan came in the first few years, and Jordan made it through a knee injury where he had to sit and then come back. See, a lot of people don't know. They think Jordan just arrived at stardom, and he did not. And even in the game where he got 63 points against the Celtics, all right, and they lost, he was not happy. He didn't say, "Look at my 63 points and show me the money." He said, "We did not win. Let's get a winning team." Johnny Manziel does not have the material to begin with. Okay, he's got to get the most out of his players.
I bet you
other than a few wide receivers, it's not bad. I guess my thing is, Johnny Manziel has not been through the process enough to understand that he can take Cleveland anywhere, Julian. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Julian had to make his way through the process.
Julian's favorite basketball player was Allen Iverson because he never went to practice. But he scored 40 points a game.
Well, to be honest with you, my favorite players were kind of Kobe as well as Allen Iverson. But the thing I love about Kobe is not only was he very intellectual on the basketball court, not to take it off football, but not only was he intellectually awesome on the basketball court, but off the court, Kobe Bryant can speak 4 languages and he travels the world and plays with different type culture people and all the above. So it's like he expands himself and he demands to play to win every game. You know, you never.
Hey, what do those two have in common? What do Iverson and Kobe have in common?
They don't like to pass.
They never saw a pass that they ever liked.
Right.
So I'll let you have both. I'll let you have both of those guys, and I'll take a LeBron James, Oscar Robinson, Michael Jordan, who actually will score the ball and will pass it.
But what did Kobe do? Without Shaq left town, and he won championships still. So you know.
But I guess the whole point is Johnny Manziel does not understand that.
Right.
And that's,
I get that.
And you know what? People say they want Tito Hazard up there. He has a playoff victory under his belt. You know, I mean, he's not the same. He wasn't going to be a superstar, never any of those things. But he knew enough to use the talent he had to use everybody else. That he wasn't going to be able to do it himself. That's the whole point.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't know if Hoyer and his slump right now is what the Browns need. So, if anything, at least try and Manziel out to see what he might be able to be capable to do for at least the next game. I don't think it's a bad idea. If he stays up, get him out of here. But I'll tell you, if he does play awesome, man, I think a lot of people are going to be upset because he has a capability in him, is a winning spirit, and it's a little better than Tito because he can do ball.
He's a bomb. Well, man. Let's move on.
Let's make some picks, you guys. I got.
Okay, let's go through this. I'm going to run through what we got going this week here because obviously we're into some playoffs here. And I'll give you the rundown of everything going on this week. Thursday night here, we got UCF at East Carolina.
He's a bum, Julian. Let's go UCF.
Yeah, I got UCF down.
UCF and East Carolina?
East Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm a UCF.
Yeah, UCF. Let me tell you something. UCF, let me say this real quick. They're on a roll. People could not say Penn State did not beat good team. That was a quality first win they had. That team is hot.
I'll tell you.
That's why I'm picking them. They are rolling right now.
They are, and they have a quality program. I mean, if you want to look over the past decade, that has been one program that has just been a silent mover over the years, and they just keep getting better and better and better.
Florida had a lot of teams. Because even at one time, South Florida was trying to make a name for itself, and then UCF kind of leaked over them even.
Right. Yeah, they got a good coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Good call, man. That's right.
I think that South Florida fired their coach for hitting the player.
That's true.
A lot of love. He got caught. Yeah, he got caught. Hey, then we got Friday here. Our Friday game we got going on here is Northern Illinois and Bowling Green.
Oh, boy. I'm going to go with Bowling Green, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass. I don't know anything about that.
That's a tough one. I'm just going to say Northern Illinois just because we knew the quarterback from the previous year, even though he didn't pan out really in the NFL.
Well, you know what's going to happen because that game comes on at 7, and 2 hours later we got Arizona and Oregon. So you get bored from the one. I can guarantee everybody's going to the Arizona and Oregon game after that. And
wait a minute. Hold on, Julian. That quarterback's going to be a great fullback like Michael Robinson.
Yes, he's going to be a fullback, not a quarterback.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
So what do you guys think here, Arizona and Oregon?
Oregon.
Tough.
Oregon by a landslide.
I don't think by a landslide. Arizona beat Oregon earlier this year. Now, true indeed, they will, scheme against Arizona differently, so it will be a different game. But I do think Oregon will win, but it's going to be closer than what people think. Maybe by 2 scores, maybe even just by 1 touchdown.
Hey, Julian, 3 starting offensive linemen were out of that game for Oregon.
They were,
and they're back.
And
they're back. That's going to be a butt kicking.
But the fact that Arizona gets the second shot, I think their adrenaline is going to be pumping, and they might even score 2 touchdowns. Because remember, they had a touchdown that should have been a touchdown, but the wide receiver carelessly did a Deshaun Jackson move and threw the ball behind himself and acted as if and then that momentum was over. And Oregon scored that, won that. But
Yeah,
I don't think that's gonna happen again.
That's another guy who didn't want to go to practice.
Well, Marcus Mariota secures the Heisman.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna be the monkey in the wrench here, man, because I'm actually gonna predict an upset.
You would be the monkey in the wrench.
Wow. Okay. He Chip went there. He said, Arizona. Okay.
I'm gonna be the wrench in that, man.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be close, and I guess it's because I actually want to see the upset.
Wow. Okay.
But I'm gonna call for an upset there.
Wow.
They beat them once.
Wow.
They beat them once,
They
and
did.
they're gonna be up for this because this is gonna be everything again. So
wow.
that's what I'm going to pick there. I know it doesn't sound right, but I'm hoping for that. And then
No, that doesn't sound right.
I know. Hey,
I'm not gonna go that far.
I've been wrong before, but I've been right before too.
It's true.
You know, it's been one of those years.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, then on Saturday, here was what we got. We got Iowa State and TCU.
Hey, I know you're doing well, but you're at least batting 500 because you picked against Penn State.
Hey, it was ones that I picked though. I was pretty close.
Come on, man.
Oh, that was a heartbreaker. Though.
Yeah, you're killing me, man. It's not that I want to see it. I want to see us win, but I want to see us win. But hey, who's been keeping it real all year? You know.
True.
Come on, man. You even said the Zips one. We ain't supposed to beat them, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, everybody comes up and they're wanting to play ball. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
I think TCU wants to keep the ball rolling.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be Iowa State, but Iowa State is always a team that comes and they bring it. So that's going to be a close game in the beginning, but then TCU is going to roll away.
Yeah, you know, Iowa State always upsets somebody somehow.
Yes, they do.
I'm taking TCU on that one.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going
I like that.
He leads
That
up to it.
No. Hey, I don't have any sense, but I got some common sense.
What's that guy's name again? Okay. Well, I did.
I don't know who you're speaking of.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, I'm going to go TCU on that one, because it just seems too obvious. But I hear you're leading up to it, leading us all thinking that's going to be your upset for the week. All right. Well, then we got Louisiana Tech at Marshall.
Man.
Oh, I'm going Marshall.
Just get Marshall.
Yeah, everything's on Marshall on that one.
Yeah, I think you got to take Marshall.
Right. We got Houston at Cincinnati after that.
That's right.
Cincinnati hasn't played that great, has it?
No,
Not really.
but I think they're going to win.
I'm
going to take Houston in an upset.
Okay.
Yep, upset. That's upset for me too.
That's
Houston.
okay. That's one of your upsets. Okay, then after that we got SMU at Connecticut.
UConn, I think, is back.
Yeah.
Why are either one of them playing football?
Well,
wow.
hey, you know what? They got out of the death penalty, man. They came back. They're coming back to life.
I forgot all about UConn ever since Donald Brown went to the NFL. You didn't hear about them after that.
Well, let me ask you, Joel. Were you born yet when SMU got the death penalty?
What year was that again? I know it was 80.
I don't think you were born yet, man. You weren't even.
I saw the documentary though. I didn't see it.
Julian was born in 2000.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. They tried to got the baby's milk on the breast.
Oh man. No, but I don't think you were even around yet, then, man.
I'm not sure, but I did see the documentary, so I do know what you're talking about.
Okay. Yeah, man. And you talk, and again, even here, look at how devastating that has been in that program, and that's another show in itself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, then after that, we got Oklahoma State at Oklahoma.
The Sooners.
I'm going Sooners. Swoops wants to, keep his name in the lights, so he don't want to lose that game.
Yeah. I think everybody's on Oklahoma. Then that's a 3:30 kickoff. Now everybody's going to get bored on that one. And everybody's going to be switching over at 4:00 to CBS to watch the Alabama and Missouri.
Alabama's going to win.
Roll Tide. They're looking strong right now. After that Auburn win, that was
I'll never say roll. And listen, don't get confused because I hate Alabama. Okay, so don't get it twisted that I picked them. I do not like Alabama. I have to stick with them.
I don't care about them either, but I do, see they're strong football program. I can't deny them.
Oh no, they won't. I just will never say. You gotta understand against somebody that played against. Penn State doesn't play those games anymore. I will not say roll tide.
Okay.
You understand that? I will not say that.
But you'll say that Tide will roll over on Missouri, right?
No, I won't say that. I'll say Tide by TCU.
Okay. Agreed.
Well, Greg, is this going to be your upset on this one?
No, that would be tied by 3 touchdowns.
Okay, there you go. Yeah,
I'm not. I'm going to be upset if they don't win by 3 touchdowns. Yeah.
right. Yeah, I see the Tide getting a big win here in that one. And then here's this little sleeper starting at 7:30. I know people are going to be changing channels after this one, but you got Temple at Tulane. I'm surprised you can televise that game, aren't you?
I didn't even.
Why did they take the TV cameras down there, man?
Wow. Wow.
It's season over. Why are they still playing?
I didn't even know Temple was even still playing.
Yeah, Temple.
How's that?
ESPN too.
Skip, is that a conference championship game?
I don't know. Is it?
It would have to be.
It's got something's going on there because it don't add up right. I'm just,
I think they're the MAC, right?
yeah. I'm looking at the lineups here and I'm thinking, wait, why are they doing this? Don't add up right.
Yeah. I don't. Mm-hmm.
But I think Temple's going to win. It could be a actually close game. I think Temple will win that one.
You know what? I'm a guy that lives 45 minutes in Philadelphia, and I just can't pick Temple. I'm sorry.
Like I want to pick Temple because go Philly, but I think Tulane's going to pull that one out.
Yeah. Go Green Wave.
I'm gonna give it the old proverbial. Who cares?
Yeah, okay. I think they're going to win. Yeah, right. Okay. So give us a pick on it, Greg. What are you thinking?
I think that Temple's going to win. Who cares game?
Okay, there you go. The Who Cares Bowl, right? Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Or the Who Cares Conference, right? Yeah. Well, after that, and it won't be like 15 minutes later till people change the channels over to the other ESPN and watch Kansas State and Baylor.
Ooh, that's the one.
Ooh.
The one right there.
Well, I think Baylor in a tough football game.
I agree. They want to stay on TCU's heels, especially since Ohio State and the quarterback went down. So they want to maybe try to leap Ohio State if they can.
As long as their quarterback can be cleared from the concussion, I take Baylor.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a consensus. Yeah, I think Baylor's going to win that one. It's going to be a good game, though.
A good game.
But the thing that's so frustrating about these weekends, you get a lot of good games going on because that's at 7:45 and at 8 o'clock right out there in Atlanta, you got Florida State and Georgia Tech. So, man, it's tough.
It's just tough. That's a
I'm
tough
taking,
one.
I'm taking Florida State big.
Big. Okay.
Really? Okay. I think Florida State's going to win. I don't know if it'll be big because it's just the way their season's going all year. It's like they're slow out of the gate, and all of a sudden they realize, hey, you know what? We could lose this game. They decide to start playing.
I'm going to agree with Greg only because they keep slipping down, and now they're number 4. They don't really want to get out of the number 4 spot. So just barely beating Georgia Tech, even though they're going to give them a good game, and we know that's a good team. I don't, for all we know, that might make the committee say, let's take them out of the top 4.
Oh man, even with
that would be wow. For them to be undefeated, that would be atrocious.
I'm going to shock you. Florida State.
Oh, you're kidding me! Really? Wow, Stephen, no kidding. Well, you know what? I can see it happening. Yeah.
The season's over, and we're going to find out what this young man is going to do. We'll have a good bowl game. The question is, what is he going to do at the end of the season?
Well, he ain't going to be back at Florida State, man.
We know that.
They aren't serving up crab legs down there next year, man.
For sure. They already talking about him in the draft. They're talking about if the Jets are going to maybe take him.
Okay.
And replace Gino. We know Vic's done, so.
Yeah, I can see that. Wow.
Last thing, and I got to run. What's our prediction for the bowl game we play in? My prediction is the Pinstripe Bowl.
Mine would be the same. I don't see how it could be.
Yeah, I think my prediction is we're going to play Pitt in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Not bad. Okay.
Because Pitt just got eligible, and I can see
how many of us are going to go out in the cold.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I'm not going out.
I might.
You can give us live updates, Steph. Hey, let me throw in that we only got 2 more picks quick. We'll race through them so Greg can go here quick, and when we can wrap it all up here. Wisconsin and Ohio State. That's 8:15 on Fox on Saturday.
Nelson goes off for 600 yards rushing.
I
think
think
he'll.
Wisconsin. I think Ohio State plays a great football game, but not good enough.
Wow. To be honest, I think Melvin's gonna have a big game, maybe 400 plus yards, but in a close game, Ohio State somehow pulls it out because they just put quarterbacks in and they just do it.
Yeah, I think Ohio State will be ready.
I think the difference is here again is who's playing. You know, Ohio State is playing very well, and listen, Wisconsin is just lethal. I don't see them running for 400 yards. I just don't see him doing it. I
agree with you. That's happen, but I do like Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're a good team.
Only because they're not having to make any adjustment at the most important position this week, because it doesn't matter who's handing the ball off to Melvin Good. You don't have to be a superstar.
That's true. I still think he's going to get a lot of yards. I don't know 400, but I just still think he's going to get a lot of yards because it seems like no matter what defense he faces, he just knows how to get through it.
Well, let me ask you, who is taking Wisconsin in this one?
I'm taking Wisconsin.
Oh, you are? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going Ohio State, man. I think Ohio State's going to win.
2-2. We'll see. Okay.
Yeah, we'll know. And then the last one here at 10 o'clock on Saturday is Fresno State Boise.
Oh, boy.
Oh, brother.
Again?
That's the Who Cares conference too, right?
Who cares? Okay.
We'll just say Boise.
It's like the Eskimos kissing with their noses, man.
No, but it's a game that you can watch it out in the Smurf turf, on a Saturday night. Right?
I'll tell you what, I'll take Boise State.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm on Boise. Greg?
Boise State at home. Boise State at home, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Boise State.
The blue jersey on, so you can't see them.
They have a good football program, they got marriage proposals and games.
Wow. Take it back to
Liberty, stickers.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Greg?
Yeah. I'm going with Boise State. They're at home. They'll get it done.
Well, we're going to stick around and wrap it up for a couple more comments yet. And Greg, I know you got to get rolling. Any final thoughts here for us?
Well, gentlemen, it's been real this year. The most exciting thing for me at this point is getting those extra 15 practices, and I think that we're going to see a total team next year. Offense, defense, and special teams. Because the coaches are going to have an entire off season, and they know their players now. They know what they're working with. Our recruiting class is phenomenal. So I think we have a big momentum going into next season. So I'm looking forward to next year already.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I'll tell you what we'll do is the season's going by here fast for us. Penn State's going to be off a little bit. I'm going to try to get up some practices here before we get off and take off the bowl. And I'd like to come back here again and see how all this plays out here, the playoffs and shakedown. And we could try to do this again here the week before Penn State plays the bowl, and we'll give a summary after the end. Does that sound fair enough, guys?
Sounds good.
Should be a lot of fun. So it gives us a little break on a Tuesday night. You don't have to do some wings and all that type of fun stuff that we miss out on, right? So that's cool. But hey, Greg, safe travels to you, man. I know you're on the road a lot out there, and I appreciate all you've been to us this year. And it's the fastest hour of football every week, and it's been a lot of fun. It just keeps getting a lot better each week, and we'll just keep building upon this. And next year's and the years to come, we're going to get even better. So.
But can I just say one thing before Greg gets off, too? I think we all want to give tribute, speaking of Letterman and history, to our Letterman brother, Darryl Giles.
Oh, absolutely.
Did lose his wife. She came, to breast cancer. The solidarity and togetherness, I just want to announce to everybody, is important because we all need each other. Nothing can ever come between us.
That's right. That's right.
Good. I'm sorry.
Well, and I just wanted to say, Greg, hats off to Greg, because, Greg's the type of guy who steps it up. And we were joking about it earlier, Stefan, but Greg, ladies and gentlemen, Greg's the type of guy who'll hop in his car. And how's that story? You're saying, he was sitting down in front in the church. He makes it there to care for the guys and show a lot of love, man. And Greg, that's what makes you special. And I appreciate you like that, man. I appreciate you that way, being that way. You're a good man, and a lot of people don't know that about you, but I'm not ashamed to say it. And I'm glad to consider you my brothers because you always got my back, and we got one another's backs. But that's the type of person Greg is, folks. He'll go out there and he'll just do the unexpected works of charity and kindness in the most unsuspecting the ways that most of us don't have an opportunity to do, but he does. He just takes the time and does it.
Hey man, you always pay it forward, man. And all my Penn State brothers have given me love over 30 years, so there's not one that I'm not going to be there for.
Well, I appreciate you, Greg. You're a great man, and I just want to say thank you so much on behalf of other guys like that. And Stefan, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but I did want to throw that out there to Greg before he's got to run tonight.
Perfect way, Greg. I know you guys do your thing, man. We love you. And let's keep up the great work, man. Thanks for everything.
Thanks, fellas. Hey, man, you guys have a great night, and we'll reconvene here next week.
All right, sounds good. Sounds real good. Safe travels, buddy. We'll catch you then.
Take care now.
All right, Stefan, we're going to beat it up here with you a little bit more and Julian, because Greg had those first opening minutes there of that with us, and but
you guys are rough tonight, man.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you Greg was really kicking it pretty hard.
WWE SmackDown tonight.
Oh man, that's great. You only saw a small part of it.
Yeah, but we had some good laughs with him. And Stefan, I really also want to say that I truly appreciate you and your commitment to come out and share the things you have with the fans out there this year. Not only the stories from the past, but the insights and perspectives from positions and coaching over 20, 30 years yourself that you let the fans know about each week. Man, that speaks volumes to give back in the way you have this year. And I appreciate you and all you've done. Just to come on here on a week after week basis like this, and you, of all people, too, going through a very, very serious health issue this year and coming through it. Praise God you're all right, man, and you're on the road to recovery here, and I'm thankful for that. But I can't express enough appreciation for all you've been here over the years, too, and how much fun it's been just and how great it is to hear your voice each week when you come in and the perspectives you give.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's all a blessing, like I said. I do know it's a Christian station, so I can say a few things that just knowing what faith is, and knowing that to have trust in God, and knowing that He's going to take care of you is one of the best things and the best presents I've gotten in those 2 months to focus on what I need to focus on, family, friends, and what's really important. And sometimes what's really important is trying to make things better and doing things for His glory. That's what's great about it, Skip. And I give, like I said, you definitely credit for it. Julian, you jumping in there. No one even knew who these old dudes were you're talking to, and just it's been great to see how you all have brought stuff along. And we try to keep things positive, and at the same time, we keep things real. It's a blessing to be involved with something like this. It's a blessing. I'm also involved with another show, Talking Me Sports Radio. The Dan Hardy show, and those guys on there. I won't be on there Thursday. And just being able to, just like you said, take the coaching. And of course, I think, Julie, and I don't know if I told you, we are playing for another championship. Many people you went to high school with are going to be in that game.
Wow.
It's just amazing how small the world is. And from our perspective, it's either fortunately or unfortunately it gets smaller. And definitely, it's fortunately that it gets smaller with great men like yourselves. So I am glad. I am looking forward to next year, as Greg said. Now we make a lot of jokes and we say a lot of things about our team. We love our team. We have to keep it real. Coach Franklin has given these players, if nothing else, tremendous love, and I think what he has started. I walk out to practice and I see that your family's out there, and I see your daughter is doing exercises with the team, your little girl. That means you got some great people out there, because although I coach football, I would not bring my daughter out there, my little girl out there to exercises with all those different guys, and you always wonder how they train themselves. But it shows you how it's a family thing, and we're a family at Penn State, and I'm looking forward to being a family. I'm forward to looking to us winning, and not just winning, but doing it the right way and doing it the Penn State way. And the Penn State way has never changed.
No, it hasn't.
It has, irrespective of what people have said. It has never changed.
Right.
And I believe
It never has.
The right man at the helm.
That's right. That's right. It's never changed. It's always been the steadfast, even flow here, regardless of who's at the helm. It's just that's what Penn State's always been about. And I'm thankful to have this opportunity this year to be able to bring some solid guys like yourselves together here. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not paid to do this here. We're here because we love Penn State. We love one another. And we love being able to give back and give you some insights and perspective to Penn State football that you maybe never had before. Because, we're not sports writers. We're not broadcast specialists. And we don't have that professional training. But, we do try to bring a perspective from a player only. And that's kind of neat that we are able to do this now. So I'm very thankful for Magnum Broadcasting for us seeing the vision of this and giving us the opportunity to launch this year with Lions Live and the Forever Lions Network, and look forward to the years to come where, we always are going to be here, but I'm hoping that the football family has guys like ourselves as the years go on, as this new generation of guys are graduating. And as I told them, I don't know if you were on at the time, but, when I talked to some of these guys who just joined, who are becoming part of the Letterman Club, I told him, I said, you may not notice or thinking about it here in the first 10, 15, even 20 years of your life because you're out there trying to make a race for what it is your calling is in life. But, through this whole process, the family is still here for you. We love you. We got your backs. We're here to help you in any way we can. And we're trying to really build that solidarity there. But I said, as the years go by and you get older like us, that's when you really start to appreciate what the Letterman Club is and what the football family is really all about. And you start to appreciate it a lot more. And those times when you come back home here are always so much sweeter when you're able to do that. So I just encourage them to get involved and to try to just, be here and be part of the family and find your niche in it and pick it up, pat your brother in the back, pull him up when he gets kicked down and support one another.
And even for mine, I just appreciate, everyone embracing me and, understanding that, there's just basically as understanding of a family, to a degree, and just all the factual knowledge that we all come with. I definitely appreciate how we flow and play on one another. And even sometimes you have different callers come in even where it's not even the same callers per week sometimes, and it's still just gels and comes together. So I just appreciate just the format of the show and, the subjects that we touch, because sometimes we even talk about just the appearance of the players, like we did the one time with the tattoos and the hair and things like that. So it definitely changes up, and, it just shows a different aspect. And I appreciate, the years and what all of you have played football, and then what we look at now is football, and how players conducted themselves off the field and on the field, and comparing that, because it's huge. Like we said, the attitude of a player nowadays is dramatically different from before.
Yeah, even the recruits. Yeah.
No, I think the melding and having Kyle on here earlier, and I'm sorry that we weren't able to have Kyle Moore on here. Just as a player that got done, finished, and actually, if you think about it, when you think about somebody that was fresh out of a situation, what can we really tell these people that came out of this situation? All the things happen at Penn State, the scandal happens, it hurt us all these things. And then all of a sudden, not only, like you said, we keep going. Skip, you all talked, and you and Quintus and Blair and a bunch of you got together and said, hey, let's keep this legacy going and let's do it the right way. And you know what? And we're our separate ways, but what we ended up doing is we ended up, I think, and continuing to embrace State College and the surrounding areas and all the other folks. I've talked to a number of people who listen to the show, but sometimes doing things probably little by little and bringing in, somebody like Julie. It's an opportunity for folks to give their perspective. It's an opportunity to, and that's my thing. I'm hoping that people are down at some of these places that we went. What was the place we went to in H-Skip? Good place. Went there at 8, got a couple of brews. These places that people watch Monday Night Football, are they listening? They're our loyal listeners, and we got another season coming. I just can't wait to hopefully get to this bowl situation. I don't care if it's the Pinstripe Bowl. I'll go out in the cold. The thing is, man, we can't sit here and run our mouths and not do what we're supposed to do. I haven't been to a game all year, so I'm feeling good, and I think I can get there. I think I'm going to still see you doing basketball season. So
certainly,
I'm looking forward to that.
Well, the neat thing is, it's kind of, God's providence is good because we couldn't have done this show without Julian here, man. Because
Oh my goodness.
last week here, I was talking to Michael, I'm like, well, I got all the buttons pushed right. But even that one show where we, Julian and I didn't really kind of understand one another at first. When I was saying, hey man, I need to know what I'm doing here because there's got to come a day here when you're not going to be able to be here. That was last week, and I was able to try to push the buttons. Of course, Mike afterwards, I had to make sure Mike came in to push all the other ones that were going on, so I didn't leave just nothing going on here after when we finish up tonight. But Julian being able to be here and his experience in other sports with basketball, he's out playing hoops before he came in tonight, and his knowledge of all these other sports. And being a broadcast journalist professional like he is, to help us along through these transitions as we go through this week to week, I appreciate him doing that. And for the basketball and things, I'm hoping that Lions Live isn't just about football, but it can go on with all these other sports. If we can find some other athletes, guys who played, who want to come in and talk, Julian, you're the man. So if you can team that up, put it together, I want to run with this, man, because it's been a lot of fun, and I know you like doing what you're doing, and if we can find a way to make that all happen here, I can't thank the people at Magna Broadcasting who love the concept of hearing the game talked about from guys who played it. And it seems like more and more, if you notice in the major networks out there, they keep bringing more and more guys in who played because the fans like to hear it from the guys who played the game, not the guys who write about it, not the guys who just know everybody's names on the rosters, who talk real fast, who recognize the guys as they fly along the field. It's the guys who give that insight and perspective to the different positions in the game, and that's what fans want. And Magnum Broadcasting has that forward-looking view of saying, hey, you know what, these guys are onto something here. So I'm hoping this continues to go on even from football to basketball to wrestling, gymnastics, all the different sports, because that's what Forever Lions really is all about. That was the whole vision of it all, and Lord willing, it'll go that way. But you're a younger guy here. You're able to help put this all together. So I'm thinking and hoping that you're able to talk to Michael and Dana and get that ball rolling for the future beyond football. Because I can't talk basketball, I can't talk wrestling, but somebody else who has played here at Penn State, who did swimming or baseball or any of the other sports, they can. And it's great that they are giving the athletes here the opportunity to give the community out here and the syndicates out there who pick this up, and everybody live streaming out there who's picking this up, insight to Penn State sports that nobody's ever had before. So I look forward to that, and I'm hoping you can take that ball and run with it, man.
We're going to pull the strings and see where it takes us.
Right on. Well, Stefan, we'll take a week or so off here, and after these playoffs settle down and Penn State gets into a bowl, and I'd like to get back in a week or so here. Once the bowl games start rolling, we can have a lot of fun talking about that, and we'll pick it up then a little bit. But I think it'll be kind of great to take a week off here, and maybe pick it up a week after that and get ready for these bowls. So if that's all good for you, same, Julian, I think you probably want to have a week off here. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here then, and we can talk some more. Stay tuned to the website, lionslive.com. And any other parting thoughts or anything you want to say yet, Stefan, before we sign off?
Well, again, pleasure and all. I'm looking forward to next season. I'm looking forward again to just seeing guys. And one guy we didn't talk about who was a pleasant surprise, Grant Haley. Young players that we have that are just ready to take the next step. And Coach Franklin ready to take a look at what happens with this team, what happens with this community. And I'm looking more and more forward to those young men that had that experience this year, taking. And there's nothing like going through an experience, having something to take from it, and going ahead and charting your progress and being successful. I just think that we're going to have a banner year. I don't know how far, whether we're going to be Big Ten champs, but I think you're going to see a lot more all Big Ten players. And I look at the schedule, some of those games will be different. Some of the ones we've lost, hopefully we win. And hopefully we get through some of these rivalries that we had, things that have woken us up. So, but again, I think as Greg had said, I just want to salute Coach Franklin and the tremendous group of young men that he had take the field. And again, 46 recruited scholarship players. That's it. For them to play and them to give all they have, because I believe they have.
Yes.
And again, I will reinforce what I said about Christian Hackenberg, that you know, through all these different things, we found out about him. You know, no one, as you said, Skip, like you said, is an expert. We don't have things here. His heart is huge, regardless of what offense we run. I do believe, irrespective of what happens, he will play on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank seniors like Donovan Smith and C.J. Alanian and Kaiser, who had a bad rib injury, and Zach Swinak
Yes.
stepped up today. You know, like Zach Swinak was a fourth-string running back who had a very, very fine career at Penn State. So just thank you, seniors. Thank you, fans. Thank you, State College, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Penn State University. Like I said, and I just always know that, you know, I would say in all that greatness and we are Penn State, and we always will be Penn State.
I can only say amen to that, Stephen. Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Stephen Davis and Greg Johnson and Julian, again, thank you. And my name's Skip Drobelvis. Be sure to tune in a couple weeks from now on Lions Live, the only network built by the players for the fans on the Forever Lions Network. Thank you all again. Safe travels, everybody. Lord bless, and have a good night.
God bless.
Peace out. Take care. God bless you all.
The holiday season is a time of excitement, wonder, and hope.
Because you got to explain the word what?